Welcome back to Kaulignation, your one-stop shop for all things Kaulig Racing, Dingernation, SVGNation, and all things NASCAR. I'm Sean. I'm recording outside today, so I apologize if there's any unforeseen background noise that you may or may not hear. Watkins Glen is in the book, the track well known as the Glen. And guess what? Lo and behold, it's SVG has won his fourth road course in a row. We're going to get into some details about that. We're going to preview some of the content we have coming up for the rest of the week. But first and foremost, please check out our Patreon for bonus content. It is the number one way to support what we do here at the channel. That is patreon.com/Kaulignation. Head on over there for bonus content. Ryan and I are recording tonight. I believe we're doing an episode of the Kaulig and Trackhouse Nation podcast. Plus, we're going to do a standalone video as well. So be on the lookout for new content over there as early as tomorrow. Big shout out to our channel sponsors, Lynn over at SVGNation on Facebook, Alex over at Dingernation on Facebook. We appreciate the support you guys provide. Our multiple choice question for this video is, did you think Watkins Glen was a good race? I want you to take your SVG fan hats off if you're SVG fans and think about the racing quality of the race. Did you think it was a good race? Yes or no? Comment below and share your thoughts there. All right, let's get into this. First up, SVG. 4 road course wins in a row in the Cup Series. It's only been done a few times in the history of the sport. Obviously, the sport's a little different today than it was back in the 90s and the early 2000s. However, it's still an accomplishment that I didn't think would happen this year. And, between SVG and Trackhouse, they have definitely found something on the road courses. I'm going to give more credit to SVG than Trackhouse. However, when you look at how the other Trackhouse cars performed over the course of the weekend, they were very, very competitive, much like they were back at Sonoma as well. 4 road course wins in a row is nothing to scoff at. It is the elite of the elite. Hell, AJ Allmendinger had only managed 3 road course wins in a row in the Xfinity Series, let alone the Cup Series. And SVG has 4 road course wins in a row. He now has 5 wins overall in his NASCAR career, and they have themselves in a fine position for the first round of the playoffs, which we're going to talk about in another video this week. Check it out because we're going to dive into all the details of what SVG is probably going to have to do to advance out of that first round, keeping in mind that there are no road courses in the first round of the Cup Series playoffs. But now that he's given himself one hell of a cushion of bonus points, he's sitting pretty heading into that first round. And we will dive into that, like I said, in a video later this week. Just a dominating win, right? Like, there are some technical aspects that I think some people that watch this are not going to agree with, but I think it's not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of fact. And there's some technical aspects of this car that we're going to get into that definitely benefited SVG, but that's not a knock on SVG. That's him taking full advantage of the scenario that's put in front of him and doing it better than anybody else is capable of doing it. Um, you know, it. He wins by 11 seconds. Twice this year now, he's won by double digits in seconds, which is impressive. He's won 4 road courses in a row. He's only 2 away from Jeff Gordon's record. And you'd be stupid to bet against SVG at this point in time. However, the Roval's a bit of a different beast. It's not a traditional road course. Yes, the infield runs like a road course. It basically is, but you still have to be good at your oval game at the Roval, or else you're not winning there. So I am curious to see what SVG is able to pull off at the Roval. It's a place that he didn't do great at in the Xfinity Series or the Cup Series last year. Not that he was bad, but he wasn't like this, nothing close to that. So we'll see what they're able to achieve. But at the end of the day, you go out there and you win 4 times in a row, no one can say shit. Not me, not Ryan, no one else. You have literally put your stamp on this season. I had SVG pegged for 2 wins during the regular season. He has doubled that. Trackhouse themselves, Justin Mark's own words, they were hoping to win 3 of the 6 road courses this year. Well, there's only been 5 and they've won 4. So they've surpassed even their own expectations, which is wild. Give the video a thumbs up if you're impressed with how SVG has done this year in that 88 Trackhouse Racing Chevrolet. It truly has been impressive. And let's get into the technical side of things here. SVG was having issues catching Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney got clean air, and these cars, and Ryan and I warned everybody going into the season, these cars are flawed. It, when you're in dirty air, you just can't race the same, and you wouldn't be able to race the same anyways, even if the cars weren't flawed. But there's a serious flaw with the cars that is really preventing people from being able to get everything they need to be able to get out of the car. And it's honestly, we asked our multiple choice question if we thought it was a good race. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was one of the worst Watkins Glen races I've ever seen. That doesn't mean that, it's shots at SVG. Just if you look at stage 1, Ryan Blaney got out to a lead, and SVG really couldn't close the gap on him at all. And then we get to another restart, and SVG goes out there, passes him pretty quickly, and away he goes. Unless you were passing on a restart or had fresher tires or you were just significantly more talented than another driver that you were passing, it was incredibly hard to pass. Like I said, look at stage 1. It's not like SVG wasn't trying. He was trying, and he just could not keep up with Ryan Blaney. Now, the difference is, and it's a big difference, is Ryan Blaney, as good as he is not the skill level of Shane Van Gisbergen. He just isn't. He can try to use all the tools in his bag to improve his results. But basically, you needed to go out there and not give up the lead. And he did. Restarts were the prime time to pass. SVG went out there and took the lead, had clean air. That's been the story of SVG's season so far, is being able to qualify up front and get clean air on these road courses. As long as the Trackhouse is hitting it in practice and qualifying and he's starting front row or getting poles, he's going to be hard to beat. And the difference is Ryan Blaney was good in clean air. SVG was unstoppable, truly impressive by, the Tasmanian Devil, as some call him. Anyways, comment down below. Share your thoughts on the Watkins Glen race. I have plenty of thoughts on Kaulig Racing that you'll be able to find on Patreon and in other videos later this week. So stay tuned for that. We will see each and every one of you in the next video.